The phrase less is more comes to mind when I think of Far Cry 3's standalone expansion Blood Dragon. I liked Far Cry 3 when it first came out, but I found many of the characters to be annoying and unnecessary. Many of them died just for the sake of the plot, and I didn't really feel connected to any of them. There were so many things to do in that game, but by the time you got to the halfway point, you were so overpowered that you would pretty much have to try to get yourself killed. Add to this the tacked-on multiplayer mode that everyone stopped playing 6 months after the game's release, and you have a game that is bursting with content, but half of it will probably go untouched because the focus is too sporadic. An ocean wide, but a puddle deep, so they say. Enter Blood Dragon, a game with a lot less to do, but more of an incentive to do it. Blood Dragon makes no attempt to hide the fact that it was inspired by the late 1980s and early 1990s pop culture. In fact, it embraces it. You play as Rex Powercult, a cyborg commando tasked with stopping an evil scientist from taking over the world. You do this by invading said Doctor's Island, killing all of his henchmen, and liberating the scientists who are being held captive. Oh, and did I mention that there were friggin' dinosaurs with laser beam eyes? And metallic sharks?
Sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads!
Though this is a Far Cry game at its core, the amount of filler that was trimmed to make the game more fun and feel sci-fi-ish is commendable. For example, instead of having to grind for hours on end to decrease your fall damage like in the base Far Cry 3, here, since you are a cyborg, no matter how high of a distance you fall from, you won't take damage. Also, enemies who are standing together can be chain killed once you get the drop on them, yet another ability that had to be unlocked through hours of grinding in the base game. After the start of the game, where you go in guns blazing shooting everything, you are treated to probably one of the funniest tutorials in video game history. Pressing the melee button when an enemy isn't around will cause your character to give the middle finger to the direction that he is looking at. The cheesiness and fun factor have been amped up to 11 in this game. Your character, voiced by Michael Biehn of Terminator fame, gives off hilarious quips and one-liners that would make even the saltiest of players chuckle. Just listen to this dialogue between two of the characters and tell me it's not hilarious.
It ain't me, because I'm goddamn near perfect. Men want to be me.
And you want to be with men. Yeah, I got it.
Though the game isn't anywhere near as big as a traditional open-world game, the replay value is here and in droves. There is so much fun to be had when the dev team is able to focus on a cohesive narrative instead of just making one giant world and flooding it to the brim with so much stuff to do that it can get over-cumbersome. The main story will take around 3 to 4 hours if you just want to rush through it. However, there is so much variety as to how each mission can be tackled that if you were to just rush through everything, you would be depriving yourself of half the fun. Upon getting to an enemy bunker, should I go in guns blazing with an armored jeep, snipe the enemies from a distance, or should I lure a berserk blood dragon to the enemy's camp by throwing an enemy's heart at it as bait and have it diminish their numbers for me? Towards the end of the game, you will acquire the Kill Star, a device that you strap to your hand that grants you the ability to shoot a laser beam that feeds off your health bar as ammo. My only real complaint here is that towards the tail end of the game, you get to ride on the back of a robotic blood dragon, and it's awesome. You plow through waves of enemy soldiers as if they were made of pudding. However, it only lasts for a few minutes. After the credits roll, there is still much to do. However, it probably won't take you more than 10 to 12 hours to 100% of the game, even on the highest difficulty. Also, there is no New Game Plus. It's a shame too. I would have loved to be able to replay the game from the beginning as an overpowered badass, with all my upgraded weapons. Still, nitpicks aside, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon is a shining example of what happens when a development team is passionate about creating something fun and unique. I just wish we could get more games like this nowadays.